What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P. the Blunt guy. Hey! And today we are back with some more One Piece reactions. Tachi. Tachi D Spins, Good friend of the channel. Good guy all around. He's going to tell us more about Crocodile and Crocodile's origins. The title of this video from Tachi D Spins is Crocodile Origin Theory Part 1. So it's looking like a multi-part theory, right? And this is going to be part 1. Now, well, before we get into the reaction and everything, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below your thoughts on the reaction, your thoughts on the theory. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? What did I miss? Same for Tachi. What did he get right? What did he get wrong? What did he miss? Let me know down in the comments. Also, follow me on Twitch so you can engage with me in real time when I'm live doing these reactions. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you want to get at me directly. And join the Discord. I'm usually the most active in the Discord, so if you want to engage with me, the Discord is going to be most likely the best place to engage with me. Also, if you want to send me content to react to, like the video we are reacting to today, the Discord, I have a channel in the Discord specifically designated for people to send me content to react to. And if you want to be part of a future discussion stream, you must be a member and participant of the Discord. But yeah, so let's get into this theory from Tachi D Spins. He's going to tell us more about Crocodile, right? I don't know what exactly. I seen a Crocomom thing in the previous thumbnail he had up for this video. So I don't know if this is going into like the Crocomom theory or about the whole gender switch with him, the potential gender switch that's been heavily speculated among the community with him, with Crocodile and Ivankov changing him from a woman to a man that we know of Crocodile to be currently, right? So I don't really know, and this is a bit of a lengthy video, so let's get into this video.
If you're new here, welcome to the downward spiral that this video will eventually turn into.
But before that, can you check if the subscribe button has been clicked? If you watch until the end, you could even win a prize. Stick around until the end to see if you won.
I have looked at every canon material and supplementary material, including involving or relating to the Desert King Sir Crocodile, to really try and make sense of the reality that is the...
That is a lot of material to go look over. You're talking about a whole arc dedicated to this man. Then we got another arc where it's not dedicated to Crocodile, but he's heavily involved in that arc, the Impel Down arc, right? Then we got the later arcs dealing with the Cross Guild, like the Cross Guild stuff. So, Crocodile has a lot of stuff in the theory, and it's it's like so spread out. It's so spread out in the story. So it's like you gotta look for chapters involving Crocodile, right? Like that's a job in itself to have to go look for all those chapters and anything related to Crocodile, because I'm pretty sure there might even be a cover story involving him. Probably. I don't know. I don't remember.
Crocomom confirmation or complete destruction that may arrive in the narrative very soon. But to get to that, we need to know more about what...
And how do y'all feel about that Crocomom theory? I'm not really on board with that. I don't know. I don't, like the idea that Crocodile is Luffy's mother, right? Like there's been the theory that Ivankov changed Crocodile's sex, right? Or his gender. And like Crocodile used to be a woman, but now Crocodile's, who the Crocodile we know of today But there's a theory that takes that idea even further, and it's saying Crocodile is indeed Luffy's mom and Dragon's ex, Dragon's baby mom, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So there has been that third theory speculating. So like, y'all let me know how y'all feel about that theory. It's not one of them theories that I'm per se big on. You know, like the crocodile gender swap. I can kind of go aboard with that because we know that Crocodile and Ivankov has some level of history, right? Something that Ivankov is holding over. Ivankov is holding something over Crocodile's head, right? So could that be the gender swap? Like Crocodile used to be a woman, probably, potentially. You know, it's possible. Knowing Ivankov's ability, right? Like what Ivankov could do that we seen in Impel Down, it's very possible. But the idea of Crocodile being Luffy's mother, I don't know. I don't know about that one. You know, seeing how some of their interactions, it don't seem like it. You know, some people argue, you know, like when Crocodile learned who Monkey D. Luffy was, like when they first fought in Alabasta, Crocodile didn't know who Luffy was. You know, he didn't know Luffy's identity as Monkey D. Luffy, right? He just seen Luffy as some kid that's trying to ruin his plans, like Crocodile's plans, right? But back in Impel Down, you know, or during the Marineford arc, when Crocodile learned Luffy, like learned his name, and it was Monkey D. Luffy, the son of Dragon, right? Crocodile actually, you know, some people argue that Crocodile acted different towards Luffy. Crocodile was more protective of Luffy because I think there was a scene where Crocodile intervened. I forgot who was trying to attack Luffy. It might have been like Doflamingo or something, but Crocodile actually intervened to protect Luffy. And a lot of people argue that that was Crocodile's motherly nature because Crocodile is Luffy's mom. You know what I mean? So let me know what you guys think, because that's one of them things I'm just like, I don't see it, but you know, I think that would be a heck of a twist in the series if it does turn out to be true. It'd be heck of a twist to know that Crocodile is indeed Monkey D. Luffy's mother. It's not a theory that I'm fully on board with, though. You know.
One Sir Crocodile. Oda has left a lot for us to hypothesize about, and boy am I ready to give y'all a bit of a solid connection that could potentially answer a couple of questions from the pre-time skip. Like, for example, why was Baroque worse? How did they have access to dance powder? Why did they have lasso? And so on and so on. For the people that want to dismiss this video as another, oh, Dragon was an admiral, or oh, this is another Crocomom video, it isn't. This is very much about our canon, male at birth assigned Crocodile, the Buster Call on O'Hara.
Okay, so Tachi's not going towards the Crocomom theory. At least, you know, I mean, it could have some ties in, you know, but I guess Tachi going to keep it grounded today. You know, he's going to keep this theory a little more grounded as far as what we know in that reality, right? Like not like speculating the you know, I mean, like that could still be the case, that the Crocomom theory, but it's a bit of a stretch. If you know, there's some things that can validate that theory, but you know, we don't even know if Crocodile actually was ever a woman. It's just, you know, that's just all speculation. You know, that's pure speculation. It's no, we, you know, like if we get some confirmation that Crocodile used to be a woman by like Ivankov, then maybe the Crocomom theory might have a little more legs. But for the Crocomom theory to really take legs, the Crocodile being a woman theory has to take legs first, because you know that theory is kind of banking on that speculation to to be true.
And how Spandam got his job. I've been away on a brief hiatus. I had to do some snowfall spring cleaning, but we are back like Odin on one.
Shout out to Snowfall. That is a TV show on Hulu that, or on Fox as well, and it's a pretty good TV show. But that's not what we're talking about.
Wano, dancing in the moonlight for your radiant smile, and we are 50% of the way to monetization. So please help your boy out. Subscribe, drop a like, because I got a lot of special things planned for in the future, and that's the best way to show me that you're as excited as I am. So consider this video
right
my
there,
official
boy.
teaser, theory / announcement video to an upcoming series of mega theories with my homie Denden Kushi and these upcoming
Sorry, y'all. I just got carried away with the music. Sorry.
podcasts as well. So anyway, it's time for some Nakama no Tachi Nitoryu Togen Totsuka waves. That is the most weeb shit I'll ever say on this channel.
That was pretty
Disgusted
weebish.
with myself. In chapter 10,
That was pretty
6, where we learn the will of Ohara still lives on with the burned man, Jaguar D. Saul, and some
Jaguar.
giants, including
Jaguar D. Saul.
Hodrudin, a part of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Kid stocks are rising exponentially in the background. We also learned that
I don't know, man. I've heard kids' stocks been falling, on a stream I watched, but they were speaking a lot of blasphemy in that stream. So, in a stream that we shall not mention, that was speaking a lot of blaspheme. We will not talk about that. But they was talking about kids' stocks going down, baby. You know what I mean? They was calling them useless D mid. Nah, they didn't call him that, but that, y'all know that's what I be calling him sometimes. But I don't hate Kid though. I actually don't hate Kid or think that he's useless or mid. I don't. I just like saying that just to I like saying that just to agitate Tachi, but I don't think Kid's like useless or even mid or anything. And the name itself just kind of rolls, right? Useless D mid. It's hard not to say it, man. It's hard not to. Useless D mid. You gotta love that name, bro. You gotta love that name. It's funny. It's funny because it actually rolls off the tongue, Melon King says banging tunes. Yeah, man. It's that dancing in the moon. I forgot. I think that's what the song called, Dancing in the Moonlight. It's a good song.
that Monkey D. Dragon and Vegapunk, during the Buster Call, were two of the 4 founding members of the at the time named Freedom Fighters, which would eventually lead to the Revolutionary Army as we have them now. And that formation took place 1 year after the Buster Call, meaning 21 years from our current canon instead of 22. We even get direct lines from Vegapunk as to why he chose to stay with the world government. It was for that bread, that Skrilla, that cheddar, that hot dough. And besides Saul Aoki,
Hey man, I can't hate on it, bro. I can't hate on it. My man's was he like, look, man, when you good at something, never do it for free, right? When you do something, when you're good at something, never do it for free. So Vegapunk he's a genius, man. That brain of his is an asset. You can't just be using that brain, for free. You got probably one of the greatest assets in the world. So you can't just be you can't be doing it for somebody who's just, a bum like Dragon at that time. Now he kind of forced though. Now it's like he's going back to Dragon like that woman who you had a crush on when you was 18, but she ain't want to deal with you because you was broke, right? You was broke. So now you level up, you got more money, she got like a bunch of kids, and it's like now she like you. You know what I'm saying? Now she like you. Now she want to get with you. You know what I'm saying? Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot, they all on me. You know what I'm saying? That's how Dragon feeling right now when it comes to Vegapunk. It's like, back then you didn't want me, now I'm hot, you all on me. You know what I'm saying? Because Vegapunk probably going to be more willing, he's going to be more open to working with Dragon now, you know? Since the world government cast him aside and they trying to kill him at the moment. So so this is probably going to work well for Dragon. It's probably going to work well for Dragon. And but on a serious note though, like, just how much could Vegapunk actually benefit the Revs, right? Like if like somehow he reunites with Dragon after leaving with Luffy and he started working with the revolutionaries, how much could he like elevate the Revs, right? He could elevate them a lot. You know, he could make some pacifista for the revolutionary army, like a pacifista army that could like maybe have it to where they could combat the Seraphim, you know, because I would think Vegapunk has all the Seraphim blueprints, right? So I would think that if anybody could create a counter to the Seraphim, or even just create his own Seraphim that are new and approved, you know, it should be Vegapunk. Vegapunk should be able to do that with the revolutionaries, especially if the revolutionaries do have resources at this moment.
PG, Dragon, and Vegapunk. Do you know who else was at this event? Spandam's dad. Yeah, Spandime, father of this nepotism sucking, face mask wearing scum shunt, was in charge of Cypher Pole 9. And we don't know who the head of Cypher Pole 5 was at this time. Because at this time, Spandam would have been 19 years old. We know this to be the case because when we see Spandam in Frankie's flashback in chapter 355, he was only 25 years old and yet the head chief officer of Cypher Pole 5. We even see the Gorosei in the same chapter being convinced that he would stop the ancient weapon Pluton from being reactivated and that he would claim the blueprints for the Gorosei from the homie Frankie. Quite not super indeed. Spandam was appointed to the role of Chief Officer of Cypher Poles 9 and 5 when we are at the Ennis Lobby incident in canon. And according to supplementary material released with Film Gold Volume 77.
I'm kind of curious if the world government, you know, because they knew about Pluton, they was trying to get the blueprints. So it would be safe to say that, or not safe to say, we can speculate. We can speculate that the world government might want Pluton, right? Because, hey, somebody gonna have an ancient weapon. Hey, why don't we have that ancient weapon, right? So, you know, they might want Pluton. They might have Uranus. You know, based on that one chapter, the whole Lelugia situation with Sabo and everything. So they might already have Uranus, you know, so they could potentially get Pluton. So what would be left is Poseidon. You know, I wonder if they know, if the world government know that Shirahoshi is Poseidon. Because I would think if they did, they would have tried to capture Shirahoshi at Reverie, but they didn't. So, you know, but if they did know, would they try to capture Shirahoshi and use her for whatever, you know, like if the world government would try to utilize Shirahoshi and her abilities, bro, like having control over Sea Kings, like you could like just start sinking pirate ships that, you know, like it's just like selling. You could be like, hey, get Poseidon, we're going pirate ship hunting, you know, and then you just got a bunch of Sea Kings destroying pirate crews and stuff. So I think something like Shirahoshi would definitely work well in the world government's favor, you know. So I could see the world government like hunting for ancient weapons, you know. Like I think that would, I could see that being like a low priority mission. Maybe not a low priority, but like, you know, not one of their main missions, but a mission that they kind of, they're doing, you know, they're like, it's something that they want all the ancient weapons, but it's not something they're necessarily taking priority over. but I could see them wanting those ancient weapons, like all of them, all three of them.
7, which I would present here beautifully, but I don't have the actual volume anywhere, so I can't really directly point at this. But in that volume, Spandam is seeking out a cure to cure his sickly father's disease in order to attain a higher rank than Rob Lucci, which is what happened. Cypher Pole Zero is currently headed by Spandam. Knowing the nepotistic clan of Spandam and his overall bitch-assness, how did the Gorosei think it was a good idea to consolidate 2 different factions and potentially later on 3 different factions?
Man, the hate, the disdain that Tachi has for Spandam is beautiful. It is beautiful. I know Spandam's like one of them just disposable characters. Who's worse? I want to get y'all opinion. Who's worse, Orochi or Spandam? If you had a gun and you only had one bullet, you had only one bullet, you could only use that one bullet for either Spandam or Orochi. Who are you taking out? Who are you taking out? Because I don't know. Because I feel as though when you look at the recency bias, Orochi's probably going to be priority. But Spandam was pretty despicable. How he was treating Robin and everything. How he did the whole Buster call and everything. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know which one I would say I dislike more. Like, for me, Orochi's kind of coming to mind just because it's like we just got out of Wano. So it's and it's been a while since I've seen the whole In His Lobby arc. So it's just that whole recency bias I have in my head. So Orochi's kind of looking like the top G right now. He's looking like the top G to get rid of.
Of Cypher Pole under Spandam. Well, we can only speculate if there was a reason as to why no individual was appointed to the head of Cypher Pole 5, if Spandam was promoted to the head of Cypher Pole 9. But maybe there's a connection that may seem out of place but fits the timeline kind of perfectly. I know this may be a classic ADHD tangent that is basically a trademark of the channel, but Crocodile from the
Tachi do be going on them tangents, boy. He do be going on them tangents.
Ages of 20 and 26 was a Cypher Pole agent or the former head of Cypher Pole 5. And then from the ages of 31 and 40, he became a Shichibukai after forming Baroque.
You know something? Spandam being part of, or not Spandam, Crocodile being part of Cypher Pole, I don't think would be a stretch. I believe in order to start an organization such as like a bounty hunter organization, like Baroque works, right? You have to be real knowledge in stuff like espionage, going undercover, stuff like that, gain intel collection, disguising yourself in plain sight, like all that stuff. You have to be good at that, right? Because when you look at like Baruch Works, right, that like that agency almost, this bounty hunter organization, it works kind of like an intelligent agency. So Crocodile possibly being part of Cypher Pole, I don't think that would be a stretch, honestly. Like I actually never considered that, but it does make sense that somebody like Crocodile could have been an intelligence agency officer or a Cypher Pole officer, right? So I could kind of vibe with this theory so far, at least the theory of Crocodile being a Cypher Pole agent.
Works in establishing the groundwork for his Operation Utopia, where 4 years later he would be met with a stretchy monkey's bloody fist. And we know that they were present at Roger's execution when they were 20 during this time. We even see Doflamingo Buggy. So if we follow the canon life of Sir Crocodile, we can see in chapter 398 Crocodile explicitly states he sought out Robin, the demon child of O'Hara, explicitly for her ability to read the Poneglyphs, to locate and acquire the ancient weapon Pluton. In fact, the first ever utterance of name Pluton was from Crocodile's arc till we get to Water 7. So we need to go back and look at Spandam again. He acquired his father's position and oversaw the consolidations of CP5 and CP9 for some reason, because they're two different factions of the grander Cypher Pole.
Hold on, did we ever get an explanation of the duties of the other Cypher Pole units, right? Like, we know CP9 is like, they go to they're like ghosts. Like, you don't hear about CP9, right? CP0 you hear even less of, supposedly. But they're more connected with the world government, CP0, right? But the CP1 the CP9 are all like, you know, they work with the Marines. You know, like CP0 answers to the Celestial Dragons and the Gorosei and stuff. The other ciphers, they kind of work with the Marines, and you know, so have we ever gotten like an explanation of each cipher pole, like what their main jobs are? Because I would think if you had different cipher pole agencies, they would all have different jobs, and it wouldn't just be like Cypher 2 is better than Cypher Pole 1, and Cypher Pole 3 is just stronger guys than Cypher Pole 2 and 1, and it's just like each Cypher Pole is just stronger. I would think they will also have different skill sets and different jobs. You know, I would think that, but did we ever get an explanation for the different Cypher Pole units, like what each of them does? You know, because right here it says Cypher Pole 5, while their speciality is unconfirmed. So yes, they haven't had a confirmed speciality. They were seen capable of stealth, thievery, selling, operating unique weaponry, which I would think all the Cypher Pole units are skilled in those aspects to some degree when it comes to stealth, thievery, selling, and operating weaponry. You know, I would think that just the difference between Cypher Pole 9 and the other Cypher Poles is they're the elites. Cypher Pole 9 are the elites, and then Cypher Pole 0 are like the elites of the elites. You know, so yeah, like Cypher Pole 9 are like your top dogs, but Cypher Pole 0 is like your elites of the top dogs, right? Like, that's what I would think. So what are the Cypher Pole 1s and 5s for? Like, what is their jobs? I don't remember seeing a job summary of each of those
factions of the grander Cypher Pole. Cypher Pole 5's job in particular was to seize and acquire weapons deemed too bothersome for common folk or pirates to have. I had to add this in because the latest chapter decided to drop, and we have to factor in that Cypher Pole ships departing from Egghead Island have been going missing over the last 2 months, and none of the Vegapunks were aware of this or had any knowledge of this. So, what other organization was forming and establishing its executive staff around 2 months ago? That's right, Cross Guild and Crocodile. Cross Guild right now is employing a marine hunting movement, and the
I actually didn't think of that, right? Like, cause I've brought up that plot point when it comes to a couple chapters ago when Lucci mentioned that world government ships were disappearing around Egghead Island, and I don't think it has anything to do with Vegapunk, you know. So I believe it's something different, that like sinister going on behind the scenes. Cross Guild, right? The Cross Guild, them being the one taking out those world government ships, those Cypher Pole ships, actually does make a lot of sense. It actually does make a lot of sense. You know, I'm kind of thinking it could be this mystery ally that we learned of in chapter 1071, right? We learned that Vegapunk was hiding a mystery character, right? That's going to help Vegapunk escape. Vegapunk and the Straw Hats going to help him escape. So I was thinking it could be that mystery ally that's been doing that to those world government ships. Like maybe they learned of this character's identity, and in order for the truth not to get out to the world government and the Marines, you get rid of these you get rid of the witnesses, right? Like I'm thinking that could possibly have happened. But the Cross Guild also makes a lot of sense, since they're also putting bounties on Marines and world government officials and stuff. So I'm still kind of on the fence with that, though. I still think it could possibly be this mystery ally who's making those ships disappear, because it's like when Lucci made that statement, it sounded as if those ships disappearing are only happening around Egghead Island, right? And I don't know if the Cross Guild is necessarily operating just around Egghead Island, so it would make sense that it's somebody connected with Egghead Island, and that possibly being the mystery ally. So I'm still more on the idea that the mystery ally is the one that is making these ships disappear. So there's that.
Exchange between Crocodile and Buggy in chapter 1058 suggests that Crocodile has been selling people into slavery for extra cash. So was raiding these Cypher pole ships how Crocodile...
That's pretty foul. That is pretty foul. But he's saying like maybe Crocodile was raiding these Cypher pole ships and trafficking his new prisoners, the Cypher pole agents, into slavery.
Crocodile was able to acquire the wealth and influence needed to even start Cross Guild or even fund Buggy's delivery service. Anyway, Spandam actually has the only other with a devil fruit in it. Bugfried is a good elephant soul who deserves his headlines. He was one of 2 devil fruit weapons that we got to see in the canon. That's right, Lasso was the other one hypothetical viewer out there in the ether of the internet, and Lasso was a good bazooka dog who was befriended by one oblong blondie baseball player in Mr. 4, who both were under Crocodile in Baroque works. Let us not forget the MacGuffin of the Alabasta,
The MacGuffin.
dance powder. Let's look at how it functions as described by Nami and Vivi in chapter 161, The Green City, Elumalu. This was the Green City.
I wonder who created that dance powder. Was that dance powder created in Witheria, right? Because I would think, they would have the means to create some type of... Or was it created by like Vegapunk or Mads possibly? Like who created it? Like was one of the Witheria scientists part of the Mads team as well? Like man, like who created that? Because I would think that like something like dance powder would be created by like those scientists in Witheria, or Vegapunk, one or the other, I don't remember. Maybe they did explain where the origins of the dance powder came from, but I'm genuinely curious. I might have to go back and look to see if it was stated.
City Bellamy was on about in Mocktown, and I'm happy to see more people's eyes are open to the idea. Anyway, an illegal substance that steals moisture from neighboring areas and artificially creates rain. This was banned by the world government, and in fact, it would have been directly under the jurisdiction of Cypher Pole 5 in order to seize this. So how was Crocodile, and specifically Crocodile's fodder, able to drop and deliver dance powder, illegal dance powder, in such large quantities. We also have to take into account the 4 years that Crocodile was a Shichibukai. Crocodile was setting into motion Operation Utopia, giving us theorists a 15-year time period where Crocodile was a Cypherpole infiltrator, built up Baroque works as well as his Operation Utopia. But how would he escape and live as a former Cypherpole agent who is now recognized as a Yonko commander globally? I promise we will get into that. But before that, we have to look at two events again that took place 22 years ago and 14 years ago. The Buster Call on Ohara and Tom's execution. Would it be a stretch to say that Crocodile was on Ohara? Yes, that's not what I'm suggesting. Would it be a stretch to say that Crocodile was privy to Tom's execution? Yes, that would be a stretch to say, and that is also what I am not suggesting. Crocodile is such a man of mystery and intrigue that his quote idea of utopia was essentially deposing a role and acquiring their kingdom. Looking at the setup that was Tom's execution, orchestrated by Spandam, we see the Gorosei even acknowledging Spandam's fervor, while also complaining about the power of pirates in that era gaining power after the execution of Roger. The linchpin of this flashback is Tom showing Iceberg and Frankie Robin's bounty poster, as Tom continues to mention other things that worry him right before his execution. But it would be fitting of someone who dreamed of being Pirate King to infiltrate Cypherpole and gain access to the intelligent world government is blatant.
So I'm guessing he's saying like Crocodile infiltrated Cypherpole. So he was never really like, he didn't just start out a Cypherpole agent and then just went rogue. He was rogue before joining Cypherpole, according to like the speculation that he was rogue before joining Cypherpole.
Blatantly hiding. So is it a stretch to say that Crocodile was the former CP5 during the Buster Call on Ohara? Under these circumstances, I don't think so. Crocodile is infinitely more intelligent and capable and competent compared to Spandam, and Spandam was in charge of that org at 25. Telling me that Crocodile at 22 could not be the head of CP5? Under these circumstances, I don't think so. From all the evidence that
I mean, Oda did say in SBS though that Crocodile joined the Warlords at early 20s, so this would be a contradiction for him to have, for him. I mean, like I could see it because Oda said Crocodile joined the Warlords in his early 20s. So early 20s, I look at it as like 20 to 23, right? So 20 to 23. So you would kind of have to push this theory back a little further, further in his earlier years. Like maybe he joined in his teens, like maybe he joined CP0 like 17, 18, and then for a couple years he was part of CP0 at a very young age. So I don't know if in a couple years he could rise to being at the top of CP0, like being the leader of CP05 or CP5, not CP0, but he could have still been a CP agent, a CP5 agent or whatever, right? So that can still be the case, but it would be a very short window of him being a CP agent, and I don't know if he could have rose to the highest rank in that small of a time. But we know based on the SBS, that was out there, I want to say it was SBS chapter 799 SBS, and Oda explicitly says that Crocodile joined the Shichibukai in his early 20s. So if let's say Crocodile joined the Shichibukai at 23, that means from like maybe 17 or 18 to 23, so that's about like 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23. That's about 6 years. He could have he could have been part of CP's 5 or one of the other CP agencies, and made a name for himself, then went rogue, and then started the or joined the Shichibukai, right? He joined the Warlords, and then eventually starting Baroque Works, right? So it's still, the timing is a little off, Tachi. With Tachi's theory, the timing is a little off based on what Oda said. Like, Oda kind of directly contradicts what Tachi is saying. So the timing is off, but I believe that there still is a case that could be made that before he turned like 22 or 23 and joined the Warlords, he could have still been part of Cypherpole. It just, the timing in this theory is a little off. And the correction, it was 779, not 799.
That we looked at so far, from Crocodile being the one to search out and draft Nico Robin exclusively for her ability to read the poneglyphs, to how he even knew about Pluton, and then on top of that being correct about the Alabastan poneglyph, as Sukiyaki tells us in Wano, to even how his henchmen were able to get their hands on a ludicrously flagrant amount of dance powder. So let's establish the timeline a bit better with other canon information that we have about Crocodile. We know he had Pirate King dreams from the Baroque Works cover story, were utterly destroyed and broken by the boy Shirohige during their clash. Maybe he lost his hand during that clash to Whitebeard, and now that's why he has the gold hook. But both Spandam and Crocodile are on top of their respective factions currently, being Cypherpole Zero and Cross Guild. Here's the tricky part, though.
Hold on.
What did the government...
Hold on. Is Spandam in charge of CP0? Because I feel as though there was a panel where Spandam was actually answering to Lucci. Like, Rob Lucci was his superior. Maybe I'm remembering that wrong. So y'all correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I feel like I remember a panel where Spandam was like talking to Rob Lucci, but he was talking to Rob Lucci as if Rob Lucci was his superior this time. So maybe it was the other way around. Maybe it was the other way around. Maybe I'm just tripping. I don't remember. Y'all correct me in the comments. Y'all let me know. But is Spandam in charge of CP0? Because I feel as though he's not. I could be wrong though. Yeah, I don't know.
Government just assassinate or capture any failed or AWOL Cypherpole agents, like we see with Who's Who, whose only failure was running into a Straw Hat Shanks with 2 arms? Well, I'd raise you the secret Ivankov has on Crocodile. Yes, this is the part of the video where I finally get into Crocomom territory. The community for a very, very long time baselessly assigned Crocodile the role of the potential Monkey D mother that we have yet to see, due to a femme crocodile in an SBS and a lot of headcanon. Well, is it possible that Luffy's mom, or Crocodile, was formerly a part of a department that was so close to the Gorosei's ear, but also Sengoku and Garp's ear? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe Garp is protective of his daughter. Who knows? Dragon could be Luffy's real mom.
Oh, it sounds like Tachi's going into the whole Crocomom, the whole Crocomom area. Okay. It sounds like that's where he's going with it, though.
For all we know. But this is a Crocodile Cipher Pole connection. And the connection gets a bit wilder if you think about who started the Revolutionary Army. Dragon, Kuma, Vegapunk, and Ivankov. Two monarchs being Sorbet.
My question is why did CP0, if let's say Crocodile was a Cypher Pole agent, why didn't CP9 or CP0 or any of the Cypher Pole agencies break in the Impel down to go kill him? You know, because it seems like the Cypher Pole agencies, at least as far when we're talking about like CP0, because now that I think about who's who was never part of CP0. He was like, I think one of the other Cypher Pole agents, but yet CP0 still felt like they had to get rid of who's who. Like they had to personally go out their way to get rid of who's who. So it would make me think, wouldn't they have done the same for Crocodile if he was a CP5 agent or one of the other Cypher Pole agents? You know, wouldn't CP9 or CP0 go eliminate him? I would think so.
And Kamabaka. And from the recent chapter, we learned that Vegapunk had a dear friend that died, directly referencing Kuma, and Dragon. These were the 4 OGs of the Revolutionary Army. So what does Ivankov know about Crocodile? You know, the secular translation talks about knowing his weakness, and that can lead one into assuming he's only talking about his weakness to water. But that doesn't really seem like a big deal, especially since carrying water around just to hit one specific dude is very inconvenient. And New World pirates who are seasoned would likely be able to have use of some form of hockey. I believe Crocodile aimed to become a Shichibukai after going for Whitebeard's head. He possibly needed to increase his bounty or his pirate infamy and lure pirates into working under him. In other words, he needed to promote himself a bit more as a pirate while avoiding the gaze of the world government, who would be like flies on shit all over him if he was confirmed to be a former disgruntled employee. So how did Crocodile pull this off? Ivankov's surgery would be the perfect reason to refer to as a weakness. Ivankov's surgery would be the perfect reason to refer to a secret as a weakness. This is one.
I mean, like, if Crocodile was a female when he was part of CP0 or not CP5 or Cypher Pole, right? And then he went against Cypher Pole and became an enemy. Changing your gender will hide your identity in a sense. Like maybe his name wasn't always Crocodile. Maybe it was like Alicia. I'm just throwing out a name. It was Alicia, and Alicia was a Cypher Pole agent, and then Alicia eventually went against Cypher Pole and wanted to become a Shichibukai or wanted to become a pirate, right? Or a underworld boss or whatever, right? Of his own intelligence agency. So Alicia goes to Ivankov. Ivankov turns Alicia into Crocodile, and Crocodile is a new, some unknown pirate causing havoc on the scene that catches the eyes of the world government, and then eventually becomes Chichibukai, right? So then that would also take the heat from Alicia, aka Crocodile now. It would take the eyes off of the Cypher Pole, so they wouldn't feel the need to go after Alicia anymore, because Alicia's no longer Alicia. Alicia's Crocodile now. And we don't know what happened to Alicia. Maybe Alicia died. We're still looking for Alicia to eliminate Alicia, but Alicia's Crocodile now. So, but we don't know this. We don't know this. So we'll let Crocodile live because, as far as we know, Crocodile is not Alicia. Crocodile is not Alicia. My bad, y'all. I thought my stream went out again. Um. Tori says I don't know. Or Tori says he also was the only masked agent not wearing a real mask. So, oh, you already read that. Then Tori says unless he just was directed to join the Shichibukai by Cypher Pole and eventually just went rogue. But I agree with you, Bluff. I mean that is a good point. Maybe Crocodile joining the Shichibukai was part of Cypher Pole's plan, right? I don't know why, but maybe it would still make sense, like to have Crocodile go undercover as a Shichibukai, right? So he could, Crocodile could do, network with a lot of other pirates and get in and gain intel, right? Gain that intel. So that could be a case. And then Crocodile ended up going rogue, right? Good point.
One Piece with hockey now. Crocodile isn't going to be as bothered by water than if the world government finds out who he really is. Even look at the stitching of his face. It just ends right before his ears, creating two possibilities. Either everything below the stitching has changed, or everything above. Write down below in the comments which one you think it would be. Because that scar could also be attributed to the crushing defeat to Whitebeard, but a head officer of Cypher Pole 5 who ran off with deep government intel to try and become Pirate King. And this government intel just so happened to be knowledge of an ancient weapon that is said to have been a battleship that was capable of destroying islands by the name of Pluton, tried to become the next Pirate King after Roger's execution. Following that,
Mo gang. So I'm assuming Tachi is part of that Mo gang, and Tachi believes that Pluton is a Mo. I believe Pluton is a Mo, but not like like the Mo animal. I think Pluton is like a ship that can actually burrow, right? That can burrow through terrain, so it acts as a Mo. So like I don't believe, because when you look at a Mo is like an animal that digs. It goes, it digs through the ground. I don't think Pluton is a living sentient thing. I think it's a ship or thing of technology, right? And the ship, when I say a ship, I don't necessarily mean a traditional ship that we think of. I think it's just a vessel, a vehicle that travels, that travels through the world, but not like in a traditional sense where it floats on top of water. I think it's something that actually travels through the geology of the earth. It travels through land.
that Crocodile challenged a very healthy Whitebeard and was folded like laundry with the hands. We don't know the timeline on this L, but I'm gonna presume it was somewhere in between the ages of 26 and 30. We also don't know if Crocodile had Baroque works entirely on his crew or just a few members, but we can say for certain that Crocodile himself sought out Nico Robin exclusively for her to read poneglyphs as the only survivor of the buster called Anohara during his first 4 years as a Shichibukai. We only know about Croc's life briefly when they were 20 during Roger's execution, when they were 40 in Robin's flashback. We know he's 40 because he tells Robin how long they worked for. 44 where we see him take an L to Luffy, and 46 as the Shadow CEO of Crossgill. Crocodile at 22 was the former head of Cypher Pole 5, but definitely was a former Cypherpole agent who underwent radical surgery to hide his identity with the assistance of the newly forming freedom fighters underneath Monkey D. Dragon. If you made it this far into the video, you are appreciated, you are loved, and if you like even a single thing that I said, please drop a like and a subscription. It helps me the most into getting as many more viewers as possible. It boosts me in the algorithm, and it's
All right, man. Shout out to Tachi. Shout out to Tachi D Spins. The link to this video will be in the description box. So y'all go y'all make sure y'all go show Tachi some love. You know, go show Tachi some love. He is a friend of the channel. So y'all go show him some love. But yeah, so whole Crocodile being Cypherpole, I like that idea. I kind of do like that idea. I believe some of his timeline is flawed, right? Because based on Oda's words, Crocodile actually joined the Shichibukai in his early 20s. So that kind of contradicts the idea that he was part of Cypherpole in his early 20s and then he became a Shichibukai in his 30s. So I think it's still possible that Crocodile could have been a Cypherpole agent, but it wouldn't have been his early 20s, maybe his late teens, like maybe like 17. Like, I don't know the age that someone could join the Marines in One Piece. I would think maybe 17, 18, maybe even younger when it comes to One Piece. I don't know. Cause now I think about it, what? CP or Kobe. Kobe was what, like Luffy's age? He was maybe like 15, 16 when they met. And that's pretty much when he joined the Marines. Like that's when after he split from Luffy, he ended up going with that little group of Marines during the whole Captain Morgan's arc and everything. Luffy left Kobe with the Marines. So that was around the time where I want to say Kobe was in his teens, right? His mid to late teens at that time. So I would think that Crocodile could have potentially joined the Cypherpole at a young age, maybe like 17, maybe even 16, 17, 18 possibly. You know, I think Rob Lucci was pretty young when he joined Cypherpole as well. Like Rob Lucci, if I recall, y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, Rob Lucci joined in his teens, you know, maybe like 17, 18. I don't know the exact age, right? I don't know the exact age, but Rob Lucci was pretty young. So I think Crocodile could have joined the Marines at a young age. You know, he could have joined the Marines at a young age, at like 16 or Cypherpole. He could have joined Cypherpole at a young age. Crocodile seemed like he's like a prodigy type of person, right? So he could have been very impressive towards the Marines, the world government, and all that, right? So that's possible. And then he could have been a Cypherpole agent for a few years, and then, you know, became a warlord in his early 20s. You know, he went rogue, become a warlord early 20s, got the sex change from Ivankov, because maybe Crocodile was originally a woman. You know, maybe he was a woman at one point, and to hide his identity, he turned to a man, you know, or she turned to a man, right? So that's possible, right? That's likely. I'm still not really on board with the Crockle Mom theory. I'm not against the idea that Crocodile had a sex change from Ivankov, because it kind of makes sense based on what Ivankov said and knowing Ivankov's ability, Ivankov's devil fruit ability. So it makes sense that maybe that's the secret Ivankov is lording over Crocodile, right? You know, because that kind of protects Crocodile from incurring the wrath of the Cypherpole agencies. Because if they know that Crocodile was the traitor, right? Like, let's say Crocodile betrayed the world government or betrayed Cypherpole and then did his own thing. I would think that Cypherpole would be on Crocodile's tail, trying to eliminate him and all the secrets he know. So maybe turning into a man was the best way Crocodile could protect himself, you know? So yeah. Tori says, I like it, but yeah, it's all kind of disproven by the timeline. Yeah, the timeline is where he kind of messed up. It's kind of where he messed up. But, you know, but you could kind of finagle it, right? Like if you kind of change the timelines of this theory, it could still work. It could still work. It's just Tachi's timeline is off when it comes to when Crocodile joined the Shichibukai, you know, so it kind of changes the timeline in a sense. But yeah, y'all, that is pretty much the video. That is the theory. You know, let me know your thoughts on the theory. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Let me know, what did I get right? What did I get wrong? You know, what did I miss? Let me know down in the comments. Also, follow me on Twitch so you can engage with me in real time as I do these theories. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you want to get at me directly. And join the Discord. That's where I'm the most active at. So if you really want to get at me, the Discord is going to be the best place because that's usually where I'm the most active. That's where I engage the most at. And if you want to send me content to react to, if you're a content creator and you want me to react to your content, I have a submission channel in the Discord designated for exactly that. And if you want to be part of a future discussion stream, you must be a member of the Discord because that's how you join the streams in the first place, is being a member, you know. But yeah, y'all, that is pretty much all I got for the video as it is. Yeah. Y'all show love to Tachi. The link will be in the description box as well. So yeah, it's your boy Sean P, the Bluff God, and I'm out of here. Peace.